Alright, so today I will be talking about the emotional reasons why immigration reform should not include a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants living in the United States. When it comes to giving illegal immigrants a path to citizenship, it is simply an issue that the United States is not equipped to handle. With the economy in its current state and with the number of illegal immigrants still crossing the border, we are not equipped to put the time and the money into granting these immigrants citizenship. There are too many of the issues that the United States is facing as it is. It would be irresponsible to divert resources to giving illegal immigrants citizenship when the American people need the support of their government. The United States economy recently went into a recession, and this means that not only were many people left jobless, but the cost of goods and services were higher. This also means that everything is higher, so the amount of money that it costs to fund government programs would also go up, meaning that taxes also have to go up. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw a large disparity of cases and infection among immigrants and natural-born citizens of the United States, and that disparity is even bigger among undocumented immigrants. A lot of the immigrants that were crossing the southern border were held in detention centers, and they got sick, and a lot of them died. I believe there were 22 deaths in 2020 alone, and that was just like in one detention center. And even though we've begun to recover, we are still facing consequences like inflation. So just like gas prices are going up, like I said, the costs of government-funded programs are also going up. So in 2021, Joe Biden increased taxes on the wealthy to put toward government programs, but his bill was cut down a lot by Congress, so even then it wasn't enough to really solve all of the problems that Americans are facing right now. And immigrants living in the country are included in that, undocumented or documented. And many immigrants, even after getting citizenship, struggle to build the life that they dream of, or the life that they wanted when they came here, that they left their home country for. We owe it to them to provide a better life than the one that they left. It's the responsibility of our government to take care of its own people before we address them, though. So we have our own people who are living in poverty, natural-born citizens, like people like you and me, who are currently living in poverty, don't know where their next meal is going to come from, and I believe that it is the responsibility of our government to take care of those people before we address the issue of legal immigrants. It would be irresponsible to divert resources to them when we have so many people here in our own communities who need help. It may seem like a very unfortunate reality, but like the American people, including those already naturalized, have to come first. Those funds have to be allocated to us first. And although the number of illegal immigrants being detained in the United States changes every year, the number is pretty consistently in the tens of thousands. The number of immigrants living in the country illegally is much higher. Some researchers estimate that it might be as high as 11 million. This is far too many to keep up with and provide for financially when it comes to granting citizenship. In previous years, the Canadian government has offered to help with this immigration crisis by taking in some of the immigrants that cross our southern border. This help is appreciated, but it's not necessarily enough to help the millions of immigrants that are already here. We would need to do this on a much larger scale to really help. And poverty, with these immigrants, they're living in poverty. When you look at these situations that these people are living in, it's very clear that they need help, but it's help that we can't give, if that makes sense. So our government can't possibly take care of the millions of people when its own citizens, including those naturalized, are currently living in poverty. So, think about our own citizens who are trying to get social assistance from Social Security, and they're on welfare, food stamps, anything like that. It's not enough. Even just those programs are not enough to help our people. So how can we possibly take care of these immigrants when our own people can't even get what they need through assistance from the government? We're saying we're helping them and they're not getting any help. It just doesn't seem fair to them to just focus on putting all this money towards granting somebody citizenship instead. Would it not be irresponsible to put these naturalized citizens and our natural-born citizens on the back burner while we aid unauthorized immigrants? I just feel it would be irresponsible. In an ideal world, we would be able to offer citizenship to anyone who crossed the border, but this is not an ideal world. This is a reality in which we must make difficult decisions and do what is best for the citizens of our country. Then, once we've given aid to ourselves, we will be able to offer more to those seeking our help. The next thing we must consider is the law of the land. Although it may seem cruel, the fact remains that it is illegal to enter the country unauthorized. Leniency is granted to those fleeing war and humanitarian crises, but this does not account for every person that crosses the border. And in order to help those who need it most, our citizens, people who live here already, people who are naturalized, we have to abide by the law. Special privileges can't be granted to everyone. If we did, there wouldn't be enough resources to go around to our citizens. Tax dollars have to be spread between our programs, and we can't afford to be taxing so many people so much just to put it towards, this program of providing citizenship for these undocumented immigrants when it could be going towards making sure that all of our own citizens are fed. It may be in the best interest of these illegal immigrants to be sent to a country that does have the resources to take them and grant them citizenship, as has been done in the past with Canada. I believe, like I said, doing this on a larger scale could possibly be a solution, as it has been in Europe during times of war throughout the years. Most recently, it's been done with refugees fleeing Ukraine from the war started by Russia. These refugees have been spread throughout Europe, and even though it might be sad to send them very far from home, it's ultimately in their best interest to give them a place to go because it gives them a chance at the most stable life possible. It's sad, but it's something that we have to consider is in their best interest. It may seem sad or even cruel, but the fact remains that the United States, with its current government and policies, is not equipped to grant a path to citizenship to anyone who crosses the border illegally. In an ideal world, we absolutely would and should give all of these people a place to call home, but this is not an ideal world. The issues facing America may not be civil wars and genocides that these immigrants are fleeing, but it is the responsibility of the government to prioritize its own citizens. Before we can help these people, we must first help ourselves economically and improve the conditions of immigrants already on the path to citizenship, as well as American citizens born and currently living in poverty. It may not be ideal, but this is the world that we live in, and we must deal with the most pressing matters first.